Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's go right to the mail. It says, "Hey Perch, Perch P Perchington." It's a classic. Um, it's this mail is, hey Perch P Perchington. Um, First off, how well do you think the Fantastic Four movie is going to do in the theaters? A lot of people are already predicting a flop. What say you? Um, all right, I'll just answer this. We'll go to the next one. Um, I don't think it's going to flop. I think that, unfortunately, I think we're probably in a place where if people are, whether it does well financially or not, I think there's a group of people who are going to find ways to say it's a flop. I mean, you're gonna get people giving very weird math answers like, well, the budget was 300 million, but as we all know, marketing is 3x the original budget, and they also reshot it 18 times. So really it's got to make 1.8 billion in order to be break even. I mean, you're just going to get very bizarre stuff like that. Um, but I think, like in terms of the movies this year, you got for superhero movies, you got Thunderbolts, and then you got Fantastic Four, and you have Superman. And I think Superman makes the most out of those three. I think that's a reasonably safe bet. In a normal world, Superman has better brand recognition. It is the start of the James Gunn era. They're doing a good job of trying to appeal to some nostalgia with, big music and moments and everything else. And so I think Superman is the kind of normie pick for a summer blockbuster type movie to go to. A lot of, depending on how more or less it leans into James Gunn's humor and style, is how much the drop off is going to be in week two, but we'll see. I think Fantastic Four does well. I think the buzz, the Thunderbolts buzz, the early buzz is good. If they manage to put in some good post credit scene or scenes or whatever they do, that's going to give a little bit of propulsion to the Fantastic Four, which should be good. And I think there is a sense that is permeating the normies or the news, if you will, that this film is really honest to goodness Marvel's first big movie to get us into Phase 6 or whatever the hell we're at with new Avengers films and everything else. So I think there's going to be a desire to return to form, and I think I think it does well. But I think I think you're going to get people bending over backwards to say it failed. And, I said this in a previous video, but I'll say it again here. This doesn't have to be your opinion, but it is mine. I don't care at this point whether it's financially successful or not. It doesn't mean anything to me. I still have a little bit of Disney stock. I've said it before, but, not enough that I really care. It's all legacy stock anyway from when I was there. Um, I don't need every film to be a bomb or a hit. So I'm really just there. I'm showing up to, do I personally enjoy it or not? Yeah, that's just where I'm at. I mean, I hope it's good because anything I put my time into, I hope it's good. But I don't win or lose anything if it's a hit or a flop. I just, it'll be what it'll be. I'm at peace with that. You may not be, that's fine. But I do find increasingly I'm finding the obsession over the financials strange. And I guess there's a little bit of irritation with me because a lot of the people who quote the financials have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, like painfully bad. And I'm offended by it not because I love the MCU or have a personal stake in Feige's success or anything like that. I'm offended by it because I like math, and I feel like these people are raping math. So it just bugs me on that level. Anyway. All right, next let's continue in this mail though. Now to my real question. At what point do you think the MCU has to reboot? And when they reboot, do you think the characters are still going to be popular, or are we seeing, okay, I'm not sure, or are we seeing an end of the Spider-Man era of superheroes? I don't. I think what the person's saying is, like, at what point these characters just are not as popular. Basically, I think that's where you're going with that. My prediction is that we're already seeing a loss of interest, and the MCU and superhero movies in general are going the way of Mickey Mouse, where it's more a novelty than a draw. Yeah, I mean, Mickey Mouse still sells a shitload of merchandise, but yeah, okay, fair enough. Um, we never really lived through the Mickey Mouse era of movies, so I'm not sure I get enough of what you're saying there. All right, so what do I think? I don't think. Look, I think we've got probably another 15 years or so of the MCU chugging along with the actors and the characters and the universe they have. I think if they reboot, my hope, but also slightly a prediction. My feeling is that they would reboot to animated. I think that we're going to go through a period. I mean, I think that movies in general, and this is this is a gut hunch feeling. That's all. My feeling is that I, that we're in an evolution period for movies in general, and I don't mean like Hollywood woke. I mean we're seeing a change to the megastar of films. There still are some, but it's not like it was in the 80s and 90s when you would sell off Tom Cruise's name or something like that. It is different now. And you still have big stars for sure, and you still have people, but it's not quite at the same level. The big stars don't have the same immediate must draw. There's some other gimmicks that have to come into play. And so I think you're at the very beginning of I think what will be a substantial twist or change to how these movies are made, produced, and marketed. And I do think one of the outcomes of this is going to be a lean into more animation. I think that we've seen little kind of a taste of it when you have something like Into the Spider-Verse, the Miles movie, where the animation looks significantly different. The style is unique. You're seeing kind of Pixar now mature, fully into just kind of a print movie kind of studio. I think, in the interest of superheroes, at some point, Marvel or the studios have to come to the conclusion that they need to appeal to kids. And to appeal to kids, animation is an easy way to do that. And they have some successes in the form of the Spider-Verse films. And I think that they also will come to the conclusion of like, hey, the box office stars aren't as big a draw as they used to be. It's more complex. Yes, we could do things with CGI and everything else, and people like entertainment, but I think some of those barriers around animation are starting to fall. And so I think this is where it all leads. So that my hunch is that we're all going there. It's getting to this place where when they do reboot, they would reboot in animation. I said I would enjoy that. I would like that because I think it will allow us. I'm hand waving a little bit the fact that these movies take a long time to make, and the Spider-Verse film's a great example of that. But I think you get to, particularly with AI coming into the picture as well, which if you fast forward 10 to 15 years, all the people who are out there going like, AI is wrong, that will be done in 10 to 15 years. It will just become, whether you like it or not, it'll become an accepted part of life. And so I think all these factors come in, and I think the anime you can put out things with a greater pace. I think, but also I think movies in general change fundamentally. I think the theater experience is going to shift. The at home is going to get tighter. There's just a lot that will happen. But that's what I think will occur. Do I think this is the end of the superhero era? I mean, I think we've hit the end of the you don't have to think about it much. It just prints money part. I think we are done with that. I think that you're going to have to put more work into it other than just like, hey, here's Captain America. But honestly, we already hit that part. The MCU can't just roll out a film and it makes money. They have to do things to help it make money. So I think I don't think that superhero films are done. And I think despite a lot of people saying Marvel is dead, DC is dead, the other kind of, doom shit you see on the internet, like you put out a good Spider-Man story, you put out a good X-Men story. And there's proof of this. If you get a good comic out there, suddenly all the people who hated it and all the people who are predicting the imminent death of all superhero comics are like, this was a good comic. Like immediately people like it's the heel and face terms of comic book fans and people on the internet happen more frequently than the Big Show back in the days in the WWE. There's a reference for you. It just people flip flop too much, and I think all it's going to take is a few good hits, and everybody's going to be with the popular kids again. And that's kind of my prediction a little bit for this summer in the MCU. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe these things will flop. But put it this way: if the Thunderbolts kind of overperforms and is good and has some good things happening to it, and if Fantastic Four comes in after that and has some good things happening to it, what you're gonna see are a lot of people suddenly they're gonna immediately whip out the Marvel hats. They're gonna be like dun 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 when they go up the elevator, and like you're gonna be right back there again. I'm not saying for all of you. For some of you who said I'm never watching again, I'm done. I trust you mean that, but I think that all it takes is a couple hits and a little bit of good buzz, and you're going to see a lot of people who are like poo pooing the whole thing just right back into the theater again. Look, people are fickle. I'm betting on people being, not untrustworthy, but basically, I mean, this is a Gen X thing. When I look around the world, I see a lot of dumb people, and a lot of those people will change allegiances on things at the drop of a hat if they think it's going to make them popular. Again, not you guys, not you, the person listening to this. You are cool. You are a unique snowflake. You got it all going on. You know what you're doing. But I'm talking about these other assholes, the people who eat at Arby's. Those people. Hey, you can't trust those people. Anyway, well, there you go. Thanks for listening.